y'all can see, I got a lot of work to do. However, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am getting ready to go to Walmart. No, not Walmart, Myers. I cannot go another day without a granola bowl. So I'm going to buy myself some fresh fruit, get my day started. It's going to be pretty busy today. Again, you guys, we have another event to go to, formal. And I'm thinking about wearing my little honey blonde bob wig over there. I just want something short off my neck. And the other bob wig that I have, I do not want to wear that with the dress that I have. So what I'm going to try to do is kind of make that little bob look a little cute for the occasion. Maybe pop a little curl in the front or something like that. It's going to be another get ready with me. I'm going to take you guys on the journey to the Cotillion today. And then that way you guys will have that video. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start my day. But first I'm going to the store. So here's this dress and my shoes. Alrighty, y'all, this is the last event and we done.
Good evening, and welcome to the grand celebration of the 40th annual Les Belles Pearls Cotillion, proudly presented by the Akron Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I am Shayla Brown Dandridge.
Hello, and I am Carolyn O. Brown.
I can't see anybody either. They must be short.
And I am Lori Alamine. And together, we've had the honor of serving as this year's co-chairpersons. It is with mixed emotions that we extend our deepest gratitude, while also acknowledging the void left by the passing of my dear mother, our friend, sister, and co-chair, Mrs. Margaret Ann Roberts. Her untimely departure was a heavy blow to all of us, and we continue to feel the impact of her absence during this significant process.
You guys, I am home from the festivities. I am so glad that this is the last big event where we gotta dress up, okay? I will explain to y'all everything tomorrow. Right now, my dogs is barking and I gotta get out of these shoes and this dress. And we gonna catch up tomorrow where I can sit down and I can just explain to y'all the craziness. Alrighty, you guys, so I'm gonna close out with a short story time of our day at the Cotillion. I have to do it this way because I didn't know that they were going to say in the middle of the announcements that you can't film and you can't take pictures of the debutantes or the escorts, in which that sucked because who don't want those memories? So after they said that, we were just basically sitting there, but the clips that you guys do see are the clips that we were able to take because there wasn't really too much going on at that time. I'm just gonna get straight to it. We gets there. Now I'm confused before we got there because I thought we were supposed to be there at 4 o'clock. That's what I was told. I was never told when I gave my money to my cousin what the dress code was. I knew that we were supposed to, dress up, but I didn't know what the actual dress code was. So if you're going to the Cotillion, the dress code for the men is you have to be in a suit. The dress code for the women is you have to be in a floor-length gown to get in. No exceptions. Okay, cool. I personally love floor-length gowns. That's going to be my first pick over anything. I don't care, even if it's a maxi dress, I want my maxi dress to be floor-length. That's just me. That's my preference anyways. So I'm glad that wasn't my issue. However, it was my cousin's issue when we got there. We had valet parking because around the time that we got there, it seemed like everybody was coming at the same dang on time. And I just honestly didn't really feel like trying to find a parking spot and then try to hurry up and get in the building, because you had to be in your seat by 5 o'clock and then they were closing the doors and they weren't letting anybody else in. That's just how they do it. So I valeted my car. I said, here, just take the car, park it, let me get in this building real quick. And my cousin did the same thing. So we walk in. As soon as we walk in the door, all eyes was on us. I saw females looking at us up and down like they were bougie, rich, high class, sedity. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute now, what the heck is going on? Because I'm starting to feel a little uncomfortable, because I thought maybe it was a color code. Like you had to dress in a certain color, because I saw all these people wearing red. And I'm thinking, okay, did I miss the memo? Were we supposed to dress in a certain color? Because y'all seen I had on that cream outfit with the stars and glitter everywhere. So they weren't really looking at me, but because of who I was with, they was just, all eyes was pointed in that direction. The looks were, and I'm immediately uncomfortable. I don't get down like that. I accept everybody. I don't care what you got on. I don't care what it is. I've never come across as that type of person where I feel like I'm better than you, or what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here, because that was the look and the vibe that I was getting. And I noticed that right away. I don't know if my auntie noticed it or my cousin noticed it, but honey, I'm always being very observant when I walk in a room, because I want to see who there. I want to see what the atmosphere is like. And when I started noticing the snares and all of that stuff, I started to think, am I not supposed to be here? What's wrong? Because I can check one of y'all real quick about how you looking, because I don't gotta be here. So a lady came over. She had a clipboard in her hand. She looked at my cousin, and I think it wasn't so much that it was her dress code, that she didn't fit the dress code. It was how they did it, how they approached the whole entire situation. Like, y'all could have came off a little bit nicer and a little bit better than you did. I understand that this is a formal event and that you're supposed to dress accordingly, but it was just the way it was done. So she approaches my cousin with this clipboard in her hand, and she goes, you can't come in here with that on. And I'm like, what? She said the dress code is a formal floor-length gown. And my cousin said, I didn't know that there was a dress code. My son didn't tell me that. I did have a dress, but the dress was too small and I couldn't fit in it. So this is what I'm wearing. My son is in this, and I'm gonna miss seeing my son. And she said, I'm sorry, we can't let you in. We've just already turned away 10 people because they were not dressed in a floor-length gown, and we're not going to be able to make an exception for you because your son is in it. You're going to have to leave. And so my cousin was like, that's fine. She was like, just give me my money back then and I'll just go. And I said, well, if you ain't going, I'm not going. And my auntie was looking at both of us, and she said, well, I don't want to leave Marvis in here by himself. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not going in if my cousin not going in. And I've already done peeped the scene of this room anyways, and I ain't comfortable with how these folks was looking anyways when we walked in the door. So the lady was still talking to Charmel, and she said, if you leave and go put on a dress, a formal floor-length dress. She said, I will personally let you back in so you don't miss your baby. And I had the utmost respect for this lady because I knew she was breaking the rules. And my cousin said, you promise if I leave and I come back, I can get in? And she said yes. And my cousin asked for her name. And so my cousin was only gone, y'all, maybe 20 minutes. She had to been peeling rubber, getting to my aunt's house to change. She came back with Dre because this was another thing. It was already 4:15, and Dre was just going to the store to get her dress. And we had told Dre, like, you gonna miss it. If you don't get there by 5 o'clock, they're not gonna let you in. So she ended up coming back in with my cousin Charmel, which was cool. Now let me back up to when my cousin Charmel left. So we go to the desk to check in or whatnot. We don't even know the debutante's name. I personally don't know the little girl. I was only going there for my cousin Marvin. So when my auntie was trying to explain and they told me to come to the next side so I could check in, I said, I'm having the same issue that she's having right now. I don't know the debutante's name. I said, all I know is my cousin Marvis Jones is an escort for the little girl. And so they finally figured out who we were there with because they have you seated by tables. Now, this little girl had 11 tables total, but they told us that our table was table number 5. So we're like, okay, we go in there to table number 5. Table number 5 is filled. It got people's bags sitting on the chairs. So you could tell that there were people that were sitting. So we just standing there looking crazy, me and my auntie. One of the ladies walks over and she goes, are you supposed to be sitting at this table? And I said, well, that's what they told us, but it seemed like these chairs are occupied. And she said, yeah, another person just said the same thing, that they're supposed to be sitting at table 5 too. And she said, give me just one moment. So she's looking at her clipboard. We got another lady looking at the clipboard. So she goes, okay, so you guys are sitting at, we're going to say table 9. Table 9. So auntie and I go sit down at table 9. We're sitting there for all of like 2 minutes. Somebody comes over and tells us, that's not the table that you're supposed to be sitting at. You're supposed to be sitting at table 3. So we gets up, go sit down at table 3. And then she comes back over, a different lady now at this point, in which I didn't know that this was the debutante's mom. She comes over and says, who are you? And so we're explaining who we are to her, and she's like, okay. She's looking for our names on her phone because she got like the list of all the people, right? And then she goes, who are you here? Who are you here for? And we said Marcus Jones, and all of a sudden she goes, oh my gosh! She was like, that's my daughter who's getting escorted, and yada yada yada. Okay, so she's like, y'all sitting at the wrong table. I said, if I got to jump ship one more time, I'm gonna walk my behind on up out this door because I'm tired of playing musical chairs. I'm like, I'm sitting here one moment, then here, and I'm just over it. And me and my auntie, we looking at each other like, yeah, I'm over playing musical chairs. So basically, the table number 5 was the main table. The mother of the debutante was sitting there, and so when the dance and the whole performance was over, Marvis was going to sit at that table. The debutante would sit at the table, which the little girl's name is Sandra. I found that out later. And then Charmel would be sitting there, and then my auntie, the grandmother, would be sitting at the table. So all the people, the elites, I'm gonna say, was sitting at table 5. I had to sit at another table. And I'm looking at my auntie like, so I'm just sitting at a table all by myself? And my aunt looked at the mother and she said, well, I'm just going to stay with my niece and sit here because I don't want to have her sitting by herself. And then when my daughter comes, she can just sit at that table with y'all. She said, since Dre not coming. And she said, oh, okay. She said, if you want to, that's fine. So then after we saw Dre come in the door, then my auntie switches tables and she goes and sits at the elite table. So the performance starts. They have their little announcements before the performance starts. So then there's a total of 15 debutantes at the ball that are being escorted. And at this time, they're also, after their performance, they get scholarships because these are like your top 10 girls that are going to graduate from high school. They're the smartest girls and they were chosen to be in the Cotillion. Not everybody is chosen for this, and it's a big deal. After their performance and they sit down, they start handing out the scholarships. The little girl that Marvis escorted, when I tell y'all, she killed it with the scholarships. She ended up getting a total of, she got one that was for, I believe it was for $4,000, and then another one for $1,500. So she ended up with 2 scholarships. I hollered like she was related to me, y'all. It was awesome just to see those young ladies get scholarships, and they ended up doing a total of $31,000 in scholarships. So just about every debutante that was there got a scholarship for a certain amount, in which the lowest one was $500 and the highest one was $5,000. After that, they served dinner, which the dinner was horrible. I did not eat that mess at all. When I look at food, I need to know what I'm looking at, and I need to be able to recognize what it is. And I'm sitting up there looking at this piece of meat, and I couldn't understand for the life of me why anybody would think that someone would want to eat that, because it looked between fish and chicken to me, and I couldn't tell what it was. And I'm looking at Dre, because she over there, she trying it, and I looks at Dre, and I'm like, well, what is it? And she said it was chicken, but it tasted a little dry. But everybody said the mashed potatoes was good. But I just, honestly, I've been a picky eater all of my life. And if I don't like the way it looks, or if it looked like something that I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to eat it. And that's why to this day, I eat the same stuff. My menu is not large at all. And honey, I'm not one to be tasting stuff or trying new things. I just, honestly, I don't want to do it. The waitress for our table, she came and stopped and looked at me, and she said, "You ain't feeling that?" I said, "Nah, I don't even know what that is. I'm not gonna eat that." And I said, had I not been looking somewhere else when you laid this plate down, I would have told you that I'm not gonna eat this. So you could either take it back, give it to somebody else, but I just didn't want to waste the food, but I knew I wasn't gonna eat it. So she said, well, they made chicken tenders and white cheddar macaroni and cheese for the kids. Would you like me to go and get you one of those plates? And I said, sure, I'll try it. And at this point, it was past 7 o'clock, because they didn't serve dinner until 7 o'clock, a little after 7. And I stopped eating at 7. And I was kind of upset that I broke my intermittent fasting. But at the same time, all I had that morning was a granola bowl. So I was starving. She brought the chicken tenders, and it actually looked good. It tastes really good too, but I could only eat a couple of bites of the chicken tenders and just a couple of bites of the white cheddar mac and cheese, and I was pretty much done. We wrapped up and ended up going home. And my cousin Charmel, let me back up to her, y'all. I'm proud of her. Even though they put her out and she had nothing to wear, the dress that my cousin was going to wear at his cotillion, she couldn't fit it. She could not zip it up in the back. She could barely get in that dress. She came back in that dress that she could not fit, the dress that they're sending back, with her mother's fur coat on, uncomfortable, just so she could see her baby. Now, if that ain't a mama for you, honey, I don't know what is. But she said she wasn't gonna miss her baby. She came uncomfortable, wearing a dress that she could not fit, a dress that she could not zip up, and was very uncomfortable until her son finished performing. After her son finished performing and did everything that was needed to be done and everything that she needed to see, she came over to the table. She told everybody goodbye, that she was gonna leave and go home. We ended up leaving like maybe a couple of hours after her. We took a couple of pictures with the kids. We talked a little bit. That's how the night ended. But y'all, when I tell y'all, we had the most challenges for the cotillion versus the gala. Now, the gala had, of course, its few hiccups and everything, and I've never experienced anything like this in my life when preparing to go to a function. It was just so much anxiety that I said, I'm never going to be able to do back-to-back events again, because this was just too much. And I really felt like I didn't get to enjoy myself the way I should have been able to enjoy myself. I'm going to insert here a clip, because even though they said that we were not allowed to videotape, guess who snuck and did it anyways? My auntie, because she had a front row seat to the whole entire performance. So if you were sitting on the outskirts tables, you could see everything perfectly. And she ended up being able to videotape Marvis dancing with the little girl. They had to do this type of waltz or whatever. It was beautiful, y'all. It was so beautiful. And when Marvis got done and he came over to the table to see us, I looked at Marvis and I said, were you counting steps? And he said, yeah, and busted out laughing, because I'm the same way, honey. You can teach me a dance, and if it's got steps to where you can count them out, that's exactly what I'm doing in my mind so I can get through it so I don't mess up. And I could tell he was real focused on making sure that he did not mess that routine up. And when I tell y'all, every last debutante and escort did an amazing job on that performance. It was beautiful. I had never seen anything like that in my life. But that's how the cotillion went and how it ended. I'm glad it's over. I will be willing to donate my dresses freely to anybody that wants a night out on the town and got a special event to go to. I will be more than happy to give those dresses away, because I honestly don't think I'm going to be wearing those dresses anywhere else. And if I have another function, of course, I'm gonna buy myself another dress, just depending on where it's at. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, you guys, and I will see y'all on another one real soon.